Yo, it's ODB from OLP. This is issue 96 of Mini Truckin Magazine, December 99, the last of the decade, the last of 1900s. And we were getting ready to go into 2000, so I didn't know how to really say that. But you have a classic here, Wilt Bilt's 92 Toyota pickup, orange, of course, with graphics. It's a hopper. You guys know that. This was owned by Todd Wilt. I saw the truck at Indy. Well, I thought I saw it at Indy Truck Bash, but I think it was actually Nope 99 2000. And this might have been shot, now that I think about it, maybe it was shot at Nope 99. But obviously this is from the Midwest, if you will. This, basically, to break it down, this was the 67 cover that had a truck. You ready for this? That was not in a truck club. So again, this is issue 96. That means 65% of the trucks that were featured to this point, December 99, were not in a truck club. That means they weren't mentioned, or they didn't mention a club, or they didn't have a club logo, so to speak. Now again, you know, technically someone may have been in a club, that type of thing. But if it didn't mention it, or it didn't show a club logo, I wanted to call that out. This was the fifth and final cover to have wire wheels on it. So issue 3, 11, 15, 55. And this one, of course, I believe off the top of my head. Now, that topic had come out one day. Ed Eister, I believe, had tagged me. And I had in my database, I had it listed, like some of these were, you know, I had them listed as, you know, 100 spoke, wires, that type of thing. But I think I have it cleared up now. I believe it's 5. So this was the last of 5. So again, wire wheels, we know for a long time, it didn't really mesh with mini trucking, so to speak. I mean, I think we all love it now, but it just wasn't the style of mini trucking. So what we see here is Get Stoned on the roll pan, Wilt Bilt with the WB, Porky's hydraulic sticker, and then Bewley bodywork on the left. So pretty cool stuff. Kind of a longer intro. Let's jump right into this issue. If you can, leave a comment, even if it's just a thumbs up. It helps, believe it or not, in the grand scheme of things of how this algorithm stuff works. Minis, cover truck denominator, Todd Wilt's of Brownsville, Indiana. Tech, special section with the Nissan Frontier crew cab. Crew cabs are going to start to become popular with the minis in the U.S. Again, you see 92 right there. Photo credit goes to Wes. Don't break your truck on account of me, Allison. They always had that little tagline deal. And I'm glad we're actually getting to this one, Whisper Slammer. I posted a photo of this truck the other day, and I believe, thanks to Thad, I got a chance to stay with him recently at Eastbound Get Down. And Thad he brought a bunch of photos down, and I literally scanned them on site. That Toyota was one of them, so we'll go over the guy's name and look at that feature. Here's the editorial on a personal note. Kind of talks about what's going on here. Being the editor at this point, kind of talking about what's going down. Master of the Final Frontier. And you can see the layout starting to change a little bit. Obviously, a new editor is going to put his or her spin. This was Eric Irvin's. He was from Texas. This was his Nissan Frontier. 2-page feature, and then boom, your Godfather custom ads. If we look here, we got paper cuts, all the normal stuff. Again, you could pause this if you need to. Y2K, that's an old school throwback term of the week. Bill Thompson, again, writing about it. We would see his name in various publications, but that was a real thing. At least we were made to believe that. Here, photography, Lance Martz. This was a clean ride. It's funny, whenever we post these, we always get a lot of people that will chime in and say, man, I remember this. This was Josh Adkins' 91 Geo tracker. My buddy Paul had a Geo, but he had a Geo Metro. His parents had given him after he had his first car. And these were good on fuel economy. And, of course, many truckers, we love these things. You can see how clean the engine bay is right there. Optima yellow top in there. Speaking of Optas, what do you guys think about those? I've been running those batteries 20 years. I've never had an issue. but I'm always curious because it always kind of seems like it's a hot topic with people. They either love or hate them. Do you like Optimum batteries? Let me know. So this one, again, a lot of these, I don't have these torn out, and it kind of makes it annoying when you're trying to take a photo or, in this case, video. This was Mini Truckin staff, so I'm guessing Courtney took this. Again, he had left, but the write-up was by Mike Self. March 7th of 99. This was Lowrider's 99 tour, Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. So I think the other day I had mentioned when I was talking about Jacksonville, like how many times the stadium changed. Qualcomm is a company that was long in, still I believe in San Diego. And they were the sponsor of that stadium for a long time, Qualcomm Stadium, for any of the Chargers fans out there. You can see the cool thing about these events, at least from what I recall and looking at the show coverage, was that, you know, all different sorts of people, I mean, lowrider style and mini trucks did attend. So it was a good mix there. Here you have Ryan Fringlinghaus's 4Runner and those were the Alfs, right? I'm pretty sure those are the Alfs. I want to say Alien. Sick, S-I-C, Chick. So a really super clean. I always like this truck. I remember just looking at it, staring at it, loving the front bumper with the Frenched in license plate. But this was Bernadette Bernie Duran of Porterville, California. Let's take a little bit closer look at it. Always been a fan of these wheels. Those are the Aliens. So speaking of aliens, Built Specialty Alien wheels, I believe technically. I was always a fan of the Odysseys as well. I think there was the Alien, the Odyssey, kind of similar. Kick panels in there. I don't know if that's back when you could get the one that were they Q Logic. There was a company that made kick panels, and it was a little bit. I mean, maybe they still do, but in that era, I guess you could get that stuff. But I don't know if that's what those were. I always like the bed, so Cuts Our Rest. Shout out to them. They follow us. They always chime in on stuff, and super clean. It was an extended cab, which my truck wasn't, so I always dug that. And of course, it had the shaved corners on the those grills. I think those Phantom grills you could buy at the time. Real nice, clean ass end of the truck, Sir Michael's, and then you had the typical taillights that became super popular there just in the roll pan. Easy Street, so Airlift had this kit for a while, and I think it was tried and true. You know, people loved that thing. It was real reliable back in the day. If you guys like what we're doing here, like I said, leave a comment. But more importantly, please search OLP via any podcast apps or go to our website on how to listen to the podcast. This is just an extension of what we do. Here you have Mike Self. Now, ironically enough, I recently had Rob Maggi on. This is Master Image Customs. You could see here. We've posted a couple photos in the past from in front of this this location. And that's of significance because those ran in street trucks. But here you see Hydro, so like a tech article, kind of cool. Rob, if you haven't listened, that's going to be one of our top episodes. Rob Maggi talks about working on Mike Self's truck, not this one, and it flipping. Ties into Sean Mahaney, rest in peace. So check that out if you haven't. If you have checked it out, don't spoil it for others here in the comments. Again, Nissan Frontier 2000 crew cab. Crew cabs started to really gain in popularity with this one, the Nissan, of course, or excuse me, the S10. Back when you could just get billet, this was Alter Images, whoever they had making that, maybe they were making it, but that was super cool to me. You could just hit up a couple vendors like Alter and get what you needed. Speaking of that, a friend of ours, Billet and Acrylic Fantasies. That is our friend Tom. He is in South Florida. He's been making billet for people 30, 40 years. If you need stuff, this is just a friendly shout out. Check him out. He does have an eBay store. He's making a lot of OBS stuff right now. But if you look at his old archaic 1990s website, billetandacrylicfantasies.com, you'll see that he's made a lot of stuff over the years. So hit him up. Let him know I sent you. The Dominator, how high can you fly? So here you go. This was Wes, as we stated earlier, and don't know if this truck is around. I'm sure, people will comment if I post this in social media. you know, it was a hopper, but I thought this was such a cool photo. Just it literally off all fours. Big part of our culture, certainly lowrider shows, hydraulics, hopping competitions. Although there weren't a lot of trucks, as I established, on the cover with wire wheels. Certainly, I don't think anybody frowns upon wire wheels these days. We all love them. I especially love, you know, kind of thinking of Menace to Society with the Mustang on wires and seeing all the stuff. You know, Dr. Dre Snoop a year ago at the Super Bowl. You know, low riding, as they say, is not a crime. There's actually ordinances as well that are starting to finally be removed in California. You know, they had a lot of no cruising ordinances that go back to, I don't know, maybe the 60s, 70s. Believe it or not, if you cruise up and down more than one or more than twice, like once up, once back, they have, from what I've been told, license plate scanners, and they can pull you over and they can ticket you and all kinds of crazy stuff. So good to see that, you know, the car culture stuff is starting to finally come around. It's hard to believe it's been that long. You think many truckers have had it hard. Slammin Jammin 99. So Jason Bullock's S10. And some cool stuff. Again, this one started out on black and white. Speaking of wires, there you go. The burnout competition with some wires. Never made it to this show. I have heard people bring this one up over the course of time. And Slammin Jammin was in Lebanon, Tennessee. Here's Dustin's S10. Roll Clean Toyota. Shannon's Tandem. I think we saw that recently. And, of course, bikini contests. Yeah, what's up with Mike and EBGD, Eastbound Get Down, man? They had to cancel the bikini contest. He said it was too cold. But it kind of was chilly. So Lance had Purgatory, these wheels made. And Purgatory was the name of the wheels. I think it was maybe technically the name of the truck. But West Coast Customs, here you go. Ryan Franklin House, a tech article. And if nothing else, this image will bring back for you old school mini truckers. For the new cats, this is what we dealt with when we were just getting into fastbags. We were basically transitioning from the paddle gauges I talk about to electric valves. Power and ground to these valves, of course, into a switch box. And boom, you were adding air to your system or releasing it. These were the type of tanks we ran forever. And we've come a long way thanks to Viair. These compressors are probably 100 times, maybe not 100 times, but you get the analogy, more efficient and better than what we had 20 years ago. It's crazy. Viair ran the same compressor for 20 years. But, you know, a couple years ago, they unveiled a new compressor at Scraping the Coast. And it was way more efficient. So, pretty crazy. My tank fills pretty quick. Again, you can kind of see some of the tech article. You can always bump this to 4K, take screen grabs as you need. Here is Genro's Ombre, as I mentioned in the Sir Michael ad. Shout out to Ruben Artiaga, the Booka. He actually, right, Ruben? I think he worked at Sir Michael's for a while. He's got a couple of the old catalogs and stuff. Pretty cool stuff. One day I'm going to buy that stuff off Ruben. Just giving him a hard time. So there you go. Wrapping up the tech article. There's the EAI ad I talked about recently. A lot of ads, of course. That's going to be key. And here is Whisper Slammer. A little bit different name for a mini. And this was James Phillip of Levittown, L-E-V-I? Levittown, Pennsylvania. So this is one that may not be like a household name, so to speak. But you got to look at this and just go, damn, dude. Pretty freaking awesome. House of Color paint. Pink and purple. And it says in here, Scott's. It says the team at Scott's. They're the team, Scott's team worked on a steel roll pan, but, you know, and they kind of go through all that. Scott's Auto. That's what I was trying to find. Again, this is one I couldn't rattle off the top of my head as far as, you know, what was done to it. Pretty badass paint, I think. And really a sick feature. I mean, easily, I think, could have been a cover truck. But, yeah, there you go. There's the dude's name. And the photo I shared was from Carlisle. I think someone had corrected me. Thad did. because Thad had let me scan a bunch of photos from Indy Bash and things like that, so I wasn't 100%. I always remember looking at this one, kind of a cool photo there in the lawn, Michael Devaney of LA. That was a damn good clean look for a long time, just a nice size billet wheel, low, real clean, you know, nothing too crazy as far as mods. I would dig that all day these days. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. I don't put a lot of graphics into these or anything like that. This allows for me to get this content out a little bit quicker. So, you know, obviously with some of the other stuff I'm working on, you know, you'll start to see more graphics and things. You guys have seen some of that over the course of time. Of course, this is, you know, around the holidays, you know, a month or so before, so they're going to promote that type of thing. Here's something that you'd see in the 90s at a show, Tommy Hilfiger clothes. That was a big thing at that time. I remember when Snoop wore Tommy Hilfiger on Saturday Night Live. I watched it live, had it on VHS for years until it got swiped. Had a bunch of old Snoop stuff that's not even on YouTube anymore, some of it. But Snoop wore a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, if you guys don't know, back in the day. And the next day they said stores were sold out. What's in the CD changer? LL Cool J All World. Solid album. And good time. So we're just getting through this one. Appreciate you guys watching all the way through. And here you go. This was Danny Kimling's 88 Hardbody. Repping Severed. Super low. Super clean. And then Seth Witten's 83 Nissan 720. Super clean. Boom. Construction Zone again. Super, I mean, from the beginning, a great thing because, you know, us mini truckers, we took a while, but also some trucks, I'd rather see the trucks unfinished. They're so awesome, you know, seeing all the work into them. You can start to see the air kits here. You know, compare this to what you see now with Acura and what you get, you know, with some of these different companies, but you could see their air solenoids, you know, 90 to 100 bucks a pop. Half inch was what some of the guys wanted to go quicker. Down here's a Fastback FBSS, front, back, side to side. 17-inch Budnick 1620 with tires 2250. Dude, those prices. Billet grills. I mean, they had... That's all you needed was a phone number. You call up, you got what you needed. Street Scene. Talked about how this was... this basically made a comeback. I don't know if Lance had, like, looked back at old issues and said, let's do it. This was something we would see from time to time. Basically, you could submit for catalogs. I would always do that. With Energy Suspension and some of the companies. That's how, for a while, I had catalogs from, like, Colorado Custom and things like that. And it took up some space in there, but it also gave some love to the advertisers. This was Jereme LeBlanc. I believe I'm saying his name right. We've had Jereme on. Jereme's a really good dude. He is a talented guy as well, and this was his Integra. He's from Louisiana. We saw this at Showfest 2001, and you look at the paint on it, super clean. Jereme, I believe, helped, you know, Chad and a lot of different guys over the years finish their stuff. Chad, Luke, and team. You know, those guys are tight friends and whatnot. So, pretty cool stuff. But this was his car. He went on to have some pretty cool stuff. And, yeah, you guys know him. He's a good dude. It looks like Jimmy's truck again. If I remember correctly, Jimmy Graham, I mentioned that recently. A none lower. Vanity license plate. That is Lenny Groover, right? Kind of forgot. I totally hadn't seen this in a long time. And I'm like, wait, I think that's him because he wore those kind of glasses. People said he just got out of the scene due to some bad seeds. Johnny Garage Johnson, if you get to this point, shout out, homie. Love the channel. And then, boom, there's the same ad. Again, MYC is going to continue to pick up and really produce a lot of content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up here in the next few seconds. Check out OLP via any podcast app. I'm going to flash now so you can subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to go through all of these issues, and I really appreciate the support. This one's under 20 minutes. 92 Toyota on the cover. Todd Wilt, shout out. Stay on the rise, y'all. Wires on the rise. We out ya. Peace.